All right, hello. My name's Chef Mark Estee and welcome to the ZLINE Kitchen. I'm so excited to be talking to you today about one of my favorite fish, and especially right now in our time out here, is wild king salmon, salmon in general. Is such an amazing fish. There's so many different types out there, and what I have for us today is a Ora king salmon. I was not able to get any wild kings today, but this is a phenomenal fish, farm raised, certified, sustainable, humane, and I'm really excited to kind of share this fish with you. Let's start with the whole fish. You know, I'm known for breaking down whole animals, using the whole vegetable, using everything on the plate, and there's nothing better in the world than to learn how to butcher a salmon properly. So we start right now of taking the fish, right? Let's take a look at this fish, okay? This is maybe about a 10-pound, 11-pound fish right here, all right? It's got, if I'm looking for it from our fishmonger or the fish market, eyes are nice and clear, okay? They cook the gills out here. It's gutted inside. Smells super fresh, okay? So you're kind of looking and making sure there's no kind of rot or bad gills, anything along those lines, okay? So I start, fish looks good. I gave it a little rinse. I like to carry a rag or a kitchen towel as I do this because really the salmon can be a little bit slippery and you want to be able to hold on to it really tight, okay? So I'm going to show you the way that I do this in the restaurants, and we're doing it for a little while. So I take the salmon, I hold it up. I'm taking off these little fins right back here, okay? All right? And just like regular cooking, nothing goes to waste, okay? So I put my side fins over here. Next up, I'm going to take off the head, okay? So where I come under here, if you've ever been out, a fish collar, you hear like when you go to like a sushi place, hamachi collar, all right? Right now I'm going to take off the head, but what I did is I released this collar here, right? The collarbone, where these two fins are, from the head itself. And really the fish head, not going to offer us too much except for a stock, okay? So fish head, dorsal fin into the stock. Next move, I am going to remove this collar, okay? So this here is very simple. Kind of take it through the top, right? Going to flip it over, other side of the collar here, all right? And right there. This here, we like to save this. This could be roasted and picked, or this could be smoked. You see a lot of smoking on here. Or it could just be cooked up with a little bit of snack. We call them chef snacks. This meat that's in here is super delicious, super rich, okay? So I've got kind of the fish now, took the most hardest parts off. Next move for me has always been to remove the belly, okay? So I'm gonna make a straight cut across and remove the belly, all right? So again, I like to put the belly with the collar, all right? I'm gonna remove the other side here, remove the belly, okay? The belly and the collar make for a great smoking. So in the restaurant scenario, sometimes we might butcher up maybe 4, 5, 6 of these a night. So in essence, we'll get a lot of belly and a lot of collar. If you're at home and thought to yourself, I might do this a few times, you could freeze these and later smoke them or later use them in a recipe, right? But if not, you can kind of roast them off as you're cooking. And again, they make for a nice salmon salad, and it's a way to make sure you use all of the salmon. Okay, last move here. I come to the bottom part here. I'm going to remove this back dorsal, okay? That's going to go for my stock. And now I'm ready to take the fillets, okay? So wipe my knife. Pretty simple here. I'm going to identify for you right here. That's the backbone, if you will, or the spine through here. I'm going to take my knife. I'm going to stand across here. And I'm going to put that, if you can hear that, it's a little crunch. It's like crack, crack, crack. What I'm doing there is I'm cutting through those pin bones. And I am right on, you can hear that spine right there, okay? So I'm right on that center bone, and I'm going to keep my knife, and I'm slowly going to work my way down, listening to the cracking of the bones as we cut through, okay? And you cut through, and now I'm going to be careful as I come to the end. I don't want to cut myself, so I have a nice clear space here. I'm going to come through and open that fish up just like that, okay? So what we have here is the first side of the salmon fillet. But we need to come back and clean that once we get this other side off here, okay? So I'm going to flip over the fish. It's just how I was always trained. I use gravity to help me, and I use the cutting board. So now I come down the back side of the spine, and my key here is to get my knife clear through. So I have knife on the top and knife on the bottom, so I'm getting the most meat, and I'm closest to the spine. I'm holding the knife not exactly flat, a little pressure down. Not up, because I'm going to be cutting into the fillet, a little pressure down. All right, I'm just going to come through here. You can hear that again. Okay, I'm staying on top of that spine. I'm coming right to the end. I'm being careful not to hurt myself here. Boom, out that comes. Let's look. Okay, salmon fillet number 2. So now you say to yourself, that's pretty good. You have all the meat on there. What would you normally do with that? For me, I take a spoon here, and what I'll do is I'll just use my spoon, and I'll take out this meat. All right, I'm just going to take it off here to the side. This here is really delicious, and it's what I call free, right? So you don't have to, this is stuff that normally get put into the stock, but we hold all this scrape or bone scrape, and the bone scrape is great for using if you want to make a little tartare or a little sushi, or just kind of put it into a soup, you know, make a mousse, add it to the smoked stuff you're going to have over here. This is delicious, okay? So the bone scrape goes there. Next up, I make the little cuts like that. My bones fold over. Now I have bones to go with the head to make a little fish stock. Salmon stock's not the best, a little oily, but it does have some flavor. And you know, if you're going to use it in with the salmon, it makes sense to me to kind of use that stock, okay? So now you have the whole fish coming to here. Now we get to the part that's fun, which is the cleaning part. So I take my knife here. I'm going to change over to a little bit sharper knife. I don't need it to be as large. And I'm just going to take this. I'm just using my eyes, and I'm cutting away the bone frags here, right? I just kind of took that bone, any kind of fat that I could see, and now I'm going to take it back to the belly. And this got a little bit of belly. It's got a little bit of belly on here. And this, same thing, I can scrape this down, but it's got bones on it. All right, so we kind of leave that to smoke and pick after. The bones are really easy to take out when the salmon is cooked. All right, so we kind of clean this up here, work our way through. And I'm using my hand, kind of feeling this through here. Boom. I like our fillets to be nice and clean. Come to this back side here, right? If you see any kind of, if I cut really close to the spine here, there's a little bit of fragment. I take that off. And next up will be to clean these pin bones, okay? So the pin bones are something you need to use a pair of pliers for, fish pliers right here, okay? And I'm just gonna kind of come through and I'm pulling these bad boys out. 1, 2, 3. Take your time. Fish is nice and fresh. Peeling these pin bones out, okay? I'm using my finger pulling them out. Come through here. It's actually kind of fun to do. In my opinion, this is kind of fun to do because you're able to kind of get a lot more for your salmon. I mean, salmon, good wild salmon or good, sustainably raised salmon, you're looking anywhere from $18 to $24 a pound at your fish market. If you're able to kind of pull this salmon out, whole salmon, I think you might be able to find anywhere a great quality salmon at $8, $9 a pound. And then if you do the work on it and you get good at it and you like it, it's really fun because you get a bunch of different preparations out of here, right? Anyone can just take a piece of salmon fillet and make it great. But if you do this, you're going to get really creative in how you learn to cook and what you end up cooking. So I'm kind of peeling these pin bones out here. Pop. Okay. Okay, pin bones are out. Next up, I'm going to take off the skin. I usually like to leave the skin on every time I cook the fish because I just think it makes for a better presentation. All right, so for me, I cut little fillets. I would leave this. This for me here, this is perfect. It's a nice 6-ounce fillet. Salmon's delicious. Leave the skin on because when you cook it with the skin, it just cooks better, right? You think about all the fats on there. It kind of protects the salmon itself, keeps it really moist. But just to kind of take the full market and show you off here how to clean the fillet, okay? I then take my knife again. I stand off to the side here. I'm going to use my towel because this is where you're going to need your towel. I'm going to cut a little bit of start here. What I'm doing is pulling the skin away from the fillet itself. I again use the cutting board as my rule here. I'm keeping my pressure down, right? I got my thumb on here, so you would use your towel right here to hold this nice and tight, okay? And I'm pressing down and I'm shaking the skin at the same time I'm moving the knife, okay? Move this through. All right, skin's off, goes in with the stock. Here's your skinless fillet, right? Skinless fillet, pin bones are out, and now you go through. You can cut it any way you like for preparation. For me, I always like to I eat with my eyes, so I might take a little bit of this backside off and put it in with my scrap meat, if you will. I'll cut a back fillet here, okay? And then I like to take it across here. I like nice square pieces. So everyone kind of has the same look for their piece of fish and not that kind of long drawn out piece, right? So one fillet, I yielded, if you call it this one, eight portions here. I'll get another 8 portions on the other side. It'd be 16 pieces of fish. You could take that fish, if you lived alone or you had some friends, you could sous vide these or cryovac them and put them away and pull them out of the freezer as you need them. But it's a great way to kind of celebrate the whole fish. And I hope you enjoy the preparation of the salmon. I can't wait to share some recipes with you. That's coming up next.